Thanks so
Please,
much,
Meg.
everybody, for getting together today. I hope everyone's staying well and happy. And I am so delighted to introduce the magical and wonderful Mickey Mann to all of you. Some of you are good pals of his. I met Mickey on the Connective Corridor bus, which I ride from downtown to campus. And his presence just lights up the bus when he drives. I think everyone will agree with me on that. He has this amazing capacity to bring joy to people's lives, which is why he's a great guest to have with us today. Mickey you're in semi-retired state, right, Mickey? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's close. Yes,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
So, because we want to hold on to him as much as possible, he has been driving the Connective Corridor bus for 30 years. He's driven for Central rather for 30 years.
Right.
And what is also interesting about him is that he's an SU alum. He got his MA in English Literature from the English department. And he's also taught in the writing studio. And I think Dory is with us as well somewhere today. Yay! Dory's from the English department as well, and Chair of Humanities Council. So an SU alum who went into academia and then loved driving the bus so much that he actually left the hallowed halls of SU to continue driving the bus. Mickey also writes poems based on his bus journeys, not while driving the bus, mercifully, although I think he could do that if he tried. And he would leave copies of his poems for us to read on the bus itself. So it was quite magical to do that. He's also an artist, he's a musician. Several Newhouse students have made videos about him. If you go online, he is known as the Flying Busman. There are times, however, Mickey, that you made me very nervous on the bus because Mickey loves to chat. He remembers people's names. And when he's driving like this while looking over his shoulder. So, but he gets it right. He always gets it right. So I've invited him in part because Mickey's sense of the city is very unique, given that he's a bus driver. And I don't think we hear enough from the people who really make Syracuse what it is in terms of a city that services so many different demographics. I run a landscape seminar on campus, which is sadly ending this semester because the CUES grant finishes. CUES grant supporting the seminar will finish this semester. So we wanted to hear from Mickey about his landscapes of Syracuse, what he encounters. His art actually reflects that, certainly his poems do. So the best way to do this, I think Mickey and I have had a conversation about this since it's a Zoom call, is that we will first of all mute all our microphones individually, and Mickey will speak for about half an hour, and then we'll throw it open for questions and interactions with him. I think it's quite a unique moment to do this with Mickey, who is waiting to take the floor here very enthusiastically. His dog Phoebe will be, by the way, popping in and out of the screen as well. All right, Mickey, it's all yours. I'm now going to zippity doodah. I'm going to go back to being muted for now. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Romita.
Thank you.
So am I like doing what I'm supposed to do? The screen is right and everything? And
yes.
My microphone is on, etc. Okay, so thank you very much, Romita, for making this happen. I am delighted and honored to be among you all today. I have to tell you, as kind of a footnote, that originally this was going to be an in-person presentation for the Landscape Studies group. And I actually had the Radio City Music Hall Rockettes lined up to perform with me, to add a little pizzazz to the proceedings, but you know how that story goes. So here I am, and we're gonna do the best we can under the circumstances. My understanding from Romita is that the landscape notion of the Landscape Studies faculty group is broad and inclusive. So what I've done is selected poems from a manuscript entitled The Flying Busman, an urban poem of dramatic potential, which I think represent and express different notions of what landscape can be in an urban environment. So there's a variety of poems that speak to what I think is a variety of landscape motifs or modes in the city. So that's what I'm going to do. As Romita said, it should be about a half an hour. I hope to read uninterrupted. Please try to resist applauding. So here we go. Taxi lot. Unlike a funeral procession whose string of sad cars winds from church to cemetery, all the cabs in the taxi lot sit dark and empty under a wintry moon, meters off and motors quiet, despite all the life that claims the city at this frozen hour, the bloodletting and broken promises, the dropped opportunities and desperate pleas, the reversals of fortune and fortunate delays, all the days that count tomorrow on their fingers and all the yesterdays that play Nero's fiddle with their feet. In this taxi lot, the wheel of birth and death is made of rubber, ready to lay a patch right through the heart of eternity. Hooker hanging at 6 a.m. With her heavy coat buttoned up to her shin, hands in her pocket, a wool hat holding her flowing hair in place, boots up to her knees. The last thing this hooker wants to catch is a cold. Even sniffles could stifle her curb appeal. Standing in the snow on a dark side street at 6 a.m., where you might expect business from the boogeyman, like the last gasp of a disillusioned dragon, her frosty breath puffs and disappears. Stepping over icy spots, kicking at clumps of snow, she could use a few bucks to make this winter night worthwhile, almost as much as she could use a warm body. Cockeyed blinds. Who knows how many whispers coo behind those cockeyed blinds? On the third floor above the smoke shop, where stragglers sip cheap coffee from styrofoam cups. Huddled over newspapers, wrapped around racing forms, girly zines gaze from the rack, sports and celebrity rags, puzzle books, and TV guides. This dark AM, lottery tickets dart for the door like spooked cat burglars. A Western Union telegram arrives with frost on its feet. A local big shot snicks his schnozzle in the humidor, sniffing around for status. Through a crack in the cockeyed blinds, a sliver of light escapes, shining with something beyond the four walls of a studio apartment. Entering that space where birds carry divine decree and smoke fairies' chimney dreams, far beyond the security of fire. A Crow commentary on car culture. Skies unfold on and on as the crow flies, black wings drawing lines with no ink, mapping the heavens of astrologers and old world explorers, unwrapping a mind willing to risk time and space. Under the winter trees' soaring leafless branches, where hundreds of black angels disappear in the dark, cars sit, bumper to bumper, parked along the curb, covered in a storm of silvery crow shit. Another gray morning. As morning turns a lighter shade of gray, there she is again, all 300 pounds of her, stretching the seams of her dungarees like an overripe exotic fruit, begging to be swallowed whole. Her ass lying in wait for the first opportunity to attack, standing at the bus stop beside the subsidized apartment high rise. Her "Good morning" rattles the bus windows beneath her magenta streaked hair. Yesterday it was some shade of blue. Those dizzy Gillespie cheeks, puff with epics of new medications, weekend trips to Philly, her sister's wayward son, winter boots, the cost of living. "I'll be getting off downtown today, bus driver, baby." She bellows from 10 seats back, through orange, operatic lips that could carve a new face in Mount Rushmore with a single kiss. As fledgling words become feathers dangling from a dozen ears, the whole bus turns into a peacock cackling down the street. Bus shelter gamblers. Packed inside the bus shelter, like the peanut gallery at the Rapture. Earmuffs, scarves, mittens, boots, eyes defined by frozen tears, searching the street for the casino bus. The gamblers bet cold feet on their daily ride of deliverance to the Indian reservation. 45 minutes via the highway with a complimentary bingo card and a $5 voucher for lunch. Their lips and cheeks wearing angelic cheer, ready and reassured. This shivering convocation will wait till hell freezes over if it means hearing those bones crack on the crap table and crying, "7!" Or the roulette wheel spinning like a covered wagon wheel California bound. Or holding that hand on the poker table whose full house is a lost soul's home. If blackjack is eye contact with God, slot machines are intercourse with Gaia. That's why the bus shelter gamblers wait, freezing and sunny. I'm on the bus. Hi. Yeah, I'm on the bus. The bus. Yeah, the bus. Huh? Downtown. Yeah, remember I was going downtown today? I told you that. Yeah, it's downtown. On the bus. Yeah, the bus. Huh? I don't know, about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe. The way this asshole's driving, I might be dead before we get there. No. Huh? Yeah. No, don't give me that shit. You know what shit I'm talking about. I'm the fucking boss. Take the shit out of your ears. Oh, really? Well, fuck you too. Yeah, fine. Fuck you. Yeah, that's right. Good. Fuck you. Goodbye. Crossing the street. Is she made of steel, wood, straw, flesh, air, spirit, or all of the above? Walking across the street after bumming $5. Her buttocks make a huge lump in the back of her faded denim coat, unbuttoned and blowing around her cockeyed knees. Limping with the equilibrium of an inebriated angel falling off the head of a pin. The free flying snowflakes sticking to the mop of wiry black hair, cropped to make her look revolutionary, aboriginal, or hip. And the streaks of cold tears frozen to her cheeks give her face the feel of a hard luck mime as she crosses the street, one measured step at a time. And just for a moment, able to drop her panhandling habit, she opens the door to Dunkin' Donuts. Waiting for the bus outside Dunkin' Donuts. Cold as the catch of the day, staring up at you with one glassy eye through a glacier of ice cubes in the display case at the fish market. The commuters, stony and shaking on the sidewalk, waiting for the bus outside Dunkin' Donuts, exhale ghosts of icy breath in mock imitation of the steam rising from pots of hot coffee on the burners inside. Those dark oceans where dozens of assorted donuts wash down in a gulp swim in ecstasy. It's a quick trip to a warm, happy belly. Those jelly donuts and chocolate eclair, cinnamon sticks and peanut logs, content to dissolve slowly in the cheap, black, drip brewed liquid, sweetening whatever cells a lucky body demands. While working their gills into a garden breath, the commuters imbibe the fragile winter air, wondering where the hell their bus is. Strip Club Neon. It's a thumb in your eye at 7:30 a.m. when the line between day and night is gray and the first cup goes down quicker than the constipated traffic flow. The strip club left its neon light on. Those shapely red legs in pink high heels kicking up a starry yellow sparks. A bawdy beacon for moony navigators sailing for a lusty kick. Looks like someone forgot to flip the switch. Passing it at this hour, the eye opens to accommodate the poke. It's a punchline to a joke called the same old shit. The louder you laugh, the more you see. Falling down the rabbit hole. After cruising through the university neighborhood for the past 6 months, this new bus route winding through the west side feels like falling down the rabbit hole. Faces vanish before your eyes, revealing hunger's gold tooth. Houses lean into the wind, worn shingles flapping, hoping to fly. Broken Venetian blinds borrowing eyelids from plywood windows. Dogs chasing their tails, swallowed in clouds of dust. With so many bodies stuffed into the bus, it's almost an obligatory orgy. Everyone breathing down someone's neck. Who knows what flows through random ear canals? Armfuls of children and baby strollers and bags and bags and bags of groceries, wheelchairs banging rubber with shopping carts, walkers and laundry bags, garbage bags, busting with bottles and cans, canes and countless cramped feet tapping tired rhythms. Only the tires can understand. The flying leaf. From where the world stands, this leaf has conquered the cosmos in its flighty surrender to the nonchalant breeze. A final breath, so natural and carefree, the leaf dances to its own sweet song, end over end, crisscrossing the air, leaving no trail for explorers to follow. Oh, how the heart loves to ramble. Falling with the savoir-faire of a brick. How many doubts does this leaf float through in its small, spontaneous ups and downs, flying via gravity's endless generosity en route to the street? Kamikaze squirrel. Zoom! That furry little fucker moves so fast you'd swear it had a rocket up its backside. It's a zipper with tail zigzagging straight up telephone pole, racing the power line, that telltale tail twitching, quicker than the turned hands of a granddaddy clock, leaving time behind. This squirrel's down, zip to the ground, ground zero passing machines, challenged with a frenzied tenacity, twirling on the blacktop, face to face with shiny intruders, streamlined and seductive, burning rubber, drawing a line in the street, fearless of eternal sleep. Squirrely zigs, but the gods of internal combustion zaps where it hurts. Pop goes the caramel corn shop. Up into your nose it goes from a block away. An aroma so sweet and reassuring, your mouth floods with, ah, man. Half a block before the first bite, it goes down deep into the body, coating every sore spot along the way with a golden glaze, as fluid as unconditional love. It goes into your bloodstream to bathe every impurity in a promise of well-being, circulating with the slow, easy care of a deep breath. From a quarter of a block away, you can hear the kernels pop, ringing in your ears until they echo in your soul. Pop, 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 pop. Reaching for heaven's gate is as easy as dropping a few bucks on the counter for a box of hot, fresh, sticky, chewy caramel corn. Until the caramel corn shop went pop and moved away. Bon voyage, Beverly. Pugnacious and rosy, cheeks like puff pastry, a shabby scarf circling her neck, and Amelia Earhart of the streets, befriending pigeons with handfuls of bread, her white hair washed with whatever the sky offered, squat and solid. She might have wrestled her way to a rusty glory, a sidewalk fixture as fleeting as fame. Beverly disappeared one day, found by her landlord on her apartment floor, collapsed from an unknown cause. Her seaworthy blue eyes behind locked eyelids, flying who knows where. Tumbling newspaper, folded for convenience, then tossed, quicker than a lottery ticket. It's caught by the wind, tumbling this way and that across the street, around and through scattering feet that would love to tango if they could find the time. The creased faces of dictators bouncing like decapitated skulls of rebels and infidels. The Dow Jones reliving a day of ups and downs, only this time as light as a counterfeit bill. Word is, newspapers are on their way out, now that every eye in the universe is online. So, sooner or later, the wind will have to find something else to play with. Broken windows in an abandoned factory. Being a bird means flying forever into the unblinking eyes of abandonment. Isn't that why they own the sky? Sailing in and out of broken windows around the dark factory building, where dust fills cracks overlooked by cobwebs. The birds know that life was never meant to be business as usual. Years ago, workers made quality coffins behind those chipped brick walls, measuring, sanding, hammering, screwing, gluing, snorting sawdust and lacquer fumes. For a few bucks an hour over minimum wage, pushing an unbroken parade of caskets up and down 6 floors, headed who knows where before dropping into death's wormy bosom. The company relocated, then was bought out by a big casket conglomerate. The birds don't care. Most of the windows covering the 6-story high, half a city block long building are broken. The huge round clock on the factory rooftop stopped when the last coffin left the loading dock. Have wings, will fly. Curbside crapper. There it sits in all its streamlined elegance. Lid and cover removed, balancing on the curb. Nothing floating where water used to be. Just a wet leaf stuck inside the bowl with no chance now of being flushed away. The handle's been jiggled for the last time. It'll have to rain hard for the tank to fill again. The seat makes a good perch for the odd bird that can squat and sing for hours without a newspaper or a crossword puzzle. Whatever stains once defiled this simple design, the ghostly white porcelain has outlasted. Now, this marvel of comfort and convenience stands as a monument to creation. Bumper to bumper. Rush hour hits, and the big squeeze is on. The embrace of a sped-up civilization whose automotive nerve accelerates a peak hour standstill. A blissful bumper-to-bumper moment where the honks and beeps of this migratory pattern awaken anyone who's fallen asleep. What kind of cosmic design would do otherwise? A pothole prayer. Lying in wait along the street. The black top pocked with potholes. Civilized landmines, less sinister than shuddering. A wake-up call as bump and thump. Wheels rattle, rims smack, shocks. Tremors. All the way up to the funny bone. Black holes giving birth to an edgy awareness. Potholes resonate beyond the original bang! Where dollars and metropolitan desire sink into a subterranean dream, roused from its sleep in a rubbery bounce. A becoming made negotiable by a stretch of smooth asphalt. The ubiquitous pothole, undermining all efforts of complacency with a subtle thud, an elementary ouch, a rudimentary whack. Like the starry constellations of seafaring explorers, potholes guide the navigation of per diem drivers whose to and fro defines the new world's come and go. The humble pothole, unable to entice a groundhog or a mole, clatters hood ornaments with seismic glee. Can you hear the street laughing? Water, water everywhere. Noah and his bestiary got nothing on us. We've had 40 days of rain in the last 4 hours, flooding the streets until the whole city floats along the swirling path of leftover leaves, a winding, gurgling voyage between the curbs, congregating in clumps on sewer grates, causing rushing water to back up and spill below the street in tiny, turbulent waterfalls. The leaves carrying a season towards spring's wishing well. It's better than snow, echoes as sheets of water, wind-blown, sweep the pavement, splashing and foaming like seafaring dreams, daring every passing umbrella to set sail The rain ripples the widening puddles, threatening to overflow and sink sidewalks, while drops dance on the surface in a million unscored symphonic notes. And we're blessedly awash in endless days of flowing love downpouring. Seagull. From here, that seagull gets lost in those clouds. Its feathery white belly goes billowy as it floats and drifts and wanders. Surrounded by so much blue, you wait for a whitecap to curl up, raising a foamy, frothing head like a fire-breathing dragon, spilling its red-hot roar in a thunderous splash across the sky. But no, not lost. In the imaginary tumult, the solitary seagull glides into the sun. Its ink-tipped wingtips scribble something in gold that follows the clouds as this bird does its singular silvery dive down to the stream. Flying for a few bucks. They call themselves flyers, which seems a bit odd because they pick a spot thick with traffic and stand like a great blue heron in a pond, holding hand-scrawled cardboard signs. No work, need money, God bless. Veteran, please help, have a nice day. Homeless, whatever you can spare will help. Under a stoplight, at an intersection, straddling the curb, it's a strategy akin to the Wright brothers' sky's the limit. This guy's got a great beard down to his breastbone on the boulevard's median strip, a bright, windy St. Patrick's Day. His bare knuckles burned red, trying to tap into the luck of the Irish. Holding his heart aloft, his stomach growling for corned beef and cabbage. Road Rage Rhapsody. Beep! What the fuck's the problem, pal? Assholes like you who don't go on the light screen. Think you could give me a second to take my foot off the brake? Your second's up, asshole. Now go. You want to go? Yeah, numbnuts, I want to go. Good. Go fuck yourself. How about I fuck your piece of shit car in the rear with my bumper? Whatever turns you on, you four-wheeling faggot. What turns me on is watching turds like you disappear, crawl back into your shit box, and make like a Hershey Squirts. Why don't I go right here and give your outhouse on wheels a hood ornament? You'll fucking go if you know what's good for you. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry, shithead, the light's red. Entrails as entree. Two black crows in the street, straddling a squashed squirrel. Their beaks buried in its belly, pulling and tearing at the entrails. Misfortune fades from a bird's eye view. The crows fill their own bellies before roosting in a nearby tree. Caw, 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 being like crazy. Abandoned umbrella. Now that it's living its own life, the abandoned umbrella welcomes the sun and the rain, spreading its wounded purple wing in the street. It catches enough wind to flip up, up, and falling like a flailing fabric Icarus. The trick is learning how to fly when you're fractured, to fly without a hand holding you aloft, to fly even if it means scraping your belly in the gravel and waiting, waiting, waiting until. Small talk across the bus aisle. Yeah, my mother, she had brain surgery 2 weeks ago, and they had to cut her head open and drain fluid off her brain. They did? Yeah, they put a tube in it. It's got to stay in there. How's she doing? Oh, she's doing pretty good. Not bad. She'll be okay. That's good. You heard about Nookie? Her boyfriend broke into her apartment and beat her up real bad. I thought he was in jail. Oh, he's out on parole. Beat her up so bad, she can't see out of one eye. She's all cut up and shit. Looks real bad. The police are looking for him. I hope they find him. I had surgery on my back about a month ago. You did? Yeah, I had a big cyst, had to be cut off. You doing okay? Oh, yeah, I'll be okay. It just hurts some is all. So I'm just waiting to get my car fixed now. I bought the brakes, brake shoes. I just need somebody to help me bleed the brake lines. My friend Dickie, he's got a garage. He said he'll do it for $40. One garage I talked to wanted $150. That's expensive. You got that right. Hoops. Bounce, 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 bounce. Like the heartbeat of a huge bird in glorious ascension. The basketball's arc follows the sky, brushes the backboard, dives the rim, whooshes the net before falling down to earth in a bounce. Across endless miles of asphalt, bouncing. The infinite gaggle of youth on airy feet, palpitating and perspiring, jumping for hoops to crown lofty heads, pointing, shooting, passing, running, pick and rolling, putting it up, oops, off the rim, rebounding, dribbling, assisting, alley-ooping, slam dunking. The solid black top painted for three-pointers, merging with a swirl of streets circling round and round and round this eternal city, buoyed and buoyant as it bounce, 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 bounces toward the sun. Autumn song. End of October, 5:30 p.m. The air alive with leaves, riding the wind. Red, yellow, brown, pink, yellow, orange. A wild gust of fluorescent lives flying every which way over streets of no return. In the empty playground at the corner, a 10-year-old boy lying on his belly across the very top of the jungle gym, hanging, arms and legs dangling over the metal bars. A book bag strapped to his back like a reluctant mountaineer or an elementary skydiver with a dreamy parachute. Almost kissing the head and taillights of 100 frisky automobiles, inch along in the rush to reach that familiar destination where the heart beats on autopilot.
Mickey, we're at 12:41 now, just so you know.
One more.
Wonderful.
Yeah. A shopping cart odyssey. The wine dark wee hours are his sea, stormy or calm, windy or cold, with his face packed inside a salt and pepper beard and stocking cap. He steers through the spook house streets Empty bottles, his background music, clashing in a metal shopping cart, navigating the little pools of light from trash barrel to dumpster, digging for a keepsake or a cash refundable can. In beat up sneakers like bedroom slippers, he pushes his cart over curbs and around corners. A nocturnal trek among skunks and streetwalkers, stripping down to whatever layer suits him, lightly along the sidewalks, slowly across the streets. This Odysseus weaves his own shroud of scraps and stars. I see hands moving, but I don't hear anything. Am I supposed to unmute something?
No, you don't have to. We can unmute and clap for you.
Yay!
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mickey. So we'll take some questions. Or would you like to tell us a little bit about why you chose these poems in your bus journeys? Anything to sort of wrap up the poetry side, and then we can leap into questions.
Whoops, what was that? Just lost the. Okay, so I'll just give you a little bit of context here. So I left when I did leave the university. I was working part time in a bookstore and needed to make a little more income. So I saw that the local bus company, Centro, was hiring part-time bus drivers. And I thought, well, this would be the perfect complement to what I'm doing, because I could work part-time in the bookstore and part-time in the driving a bus if I was hired, and kind of cobbled together a full-time job, so to speak. With the intention, thinking that I would do this, drive the bus, until I figured out what it was I really wanted to do. And that was 30 years ago. So the bottom line being that it's kind of like living the dream by default. Like you go with what feels right at the moment, not anticipating that you would make a career of it, but somehow falling in love with it to the degree that you couldn't imagine yourself doing anything else. So that kind of worked out in a very inscrutable way for me, and I would not trade it for anything. Not only did it become what I had always wanted, I guess, what I describe as being in the ebb and flow of the quotidian life of the city, getting under the skin of the city, so to speak. And I really always kind of yearned for that and never quite knew exactly how to realize it. But when I got into the driver's seat of the bus, it just happened. And then one thing led to the proverbial other, and I started just scribbling down impressions and ideas and conversational notes and stuff that had presented themselves to me while I was driving, and the manuscript happened, and we're still going strong. Yeah. So I guess I should say that I left full-time bus driving almost 2 years ago now. I don't call it retirement. I refer to it as a vocational paradigm shift. So I'm still working very part-time, a few hours a week on the Hill when university is in session. So I'm doing that about 10 hours a week, and following my bliss in whatsoever other directions it might take me. So I'm game for any questions, poetry, bus driving, or otherwise.
Thanks, Mickey. Anybody else? Please jump in. You'll have to unmute your microphones.
You talk to me or? No, them. Okay.
I have a comment. I really liked the voices. You're performing of multiple voices. I thought that was a strength of yours. Yeah, and in general, I think it would be interesting to present these not as poems, but as prose poems. And that would bring out the narrative side and the voices. And I think that it's really attractive to hear the voices that way.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. I'm not clear exactly on what would be the difference between a prose poem and another kind of poem.
I haven't seen how they appear on the page.
Oh, okay.
But you could show us maybe. But
okay.
To me, I would rather see them in prose form than in poetry form.
Okay.
Because I think they're very impressive. Well, that's just my idea.
No, that's what you say, Ken, is very interesting. And I also think of it somewhat in line with what you're saying, although what the prose poem idea didn't specifically occur to me. So the subtitle of the manuscript is an urban poem of dramatic potential. So that is kind of I don't know, an unsophisticated and attempt to suggest that the manuscript, in my estimation, would work well as a dramatic piece, so that you could put it on a stage and you could assign voices to different people and you could kind of play out the narrative, because the book does work in it. The whole manuscript works in a narrative form too. So it's sort of along the lines, I think, of what you're saying.
Show him a poem, Mickey.
Well, I mean, they look like poems. They look like what you would expect. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of a, the verse. Yeah.
Hi, Phoebe.
Oh, this is Phoebe, our little dog here down the left-hand corner.
Romy,
Yes.
can I say something?
But please.
Yeah. So thank you very much. That was wonderful, and I think it was fascinating how you not only use your time on the bus to observe people and objects and situations very carefully and closely, but also the smells that you captured. And I mean, it's kind of a whole experience of the city that many of us never ever have the opportunity to experience. So it's really quite wonderful. So thank you for that. The other question I had is, I noticed there's a guitar on in the background there. Do you
Yeah.
also play music? And
No, I do. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. If you would like to, now here's another pitch, I suppose. There's a word I'm looking for that I can't quite get. I don't know what it is, but what I would say to you is, if you're interested in hearing my music, you can become a friend of mine on Facebook. I post up an original song every day, a different song. And so if you are interested in that, check out my Facebook page and we could rock and roll. Okay. So, but Gail, I really appreciate your comment in terms of when you say experiencing aspects of the city that most people don't, because one of the ways that I have described being a bus driver over the years is it's like being given the key to the city, literally. Like they give in honorarium or an honor to someone, give them the key to the city, and they get a little key, and that they, after they leave City Hall, they don't see the rest of the city. You get in the seat of a bus, a transit bus, and you have got the key to the city, baby, in many ways. And it's just a way of understanding yourself and how you are implicated in your environment and how you can be transformed by your environment in ways that otherwise I couldn't imagine, other than being perhaps a city policeman. I can't imagine any other way that would offer that kind of opportunity. So you're right. You're absolutely right in what you say. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing it with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, dear.
Very rich perspective.
Thanks.
I have a question. Mick?
Go ahead, Bill. Yeah.
I remember reading in an interview with you that, and I hope I have this right, that you described yourself as a street person. And, I think that's a term that means different things to different people. And, I was put in mind of the street photographer and filmmaker Helen Levitt, about whom was written, "She saw the beauty of the street." And the implication there is, of course, is that we all don't recognize or perceive the beauty of the street. And it seems to me that a lot of your poetry celebrates the beauty of the street. So I was wondering if you would expand on, first of all, what you mean, if I have the quotation right, that you are a street person, and maybe just your sense of the aesthetics of the street.
Yes, thank you, Bill. I would love to. So for me, it's about finding whatever place it is in life, in the world, where you feel most alive. For me personally, that's the street. The street is a spontaneous, dangerous, colorful, musical, challenging place. It comes at you from all directions, and if you don't mind getting knocked around a little bit, you have an infinite opportunity to open up and experience life where I've never experienced it to the depth and degree that I have on the street. So being a street person for me, and the quote is accurate, means feeling more at home there than any place else. And I've worked a lot of jobs over the years, and I was in academia briefly, and the reason I left was because I didn't feel at home there. So being a street person not only means feeling at home, but feeling a sense of community and a sense of sharing your life and all of the shit that you bring with you with everybody else, and all the shit that they bring with them. And it is a way of rubbing elbows that you would not rub anyplace else. So being a street person, to me, is being, as Walt Whitman might have said, the shit underneath your shoes. You know, you get to the lowest level and spread yourself thinly as possible, and you become a denizen of the world, I guess. But yes, if that answers your question.
Sure does. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Mickey, thank you. I guess I had two sort of linked questions. The first was about your influences as a writer. So kind of where do you take this style of observation? Who are some of the people who have influenced your own kind of, or who are some of the writers and poets who have taught you to look at the streets around you? And then the second was sort of a practical question, like what you do. I mean, one of the things that comes through so wonderfully in your writing is this interest in different experiences of the city. So I'm curious how you kind of negotiate between your own voice, like you have a very clear sort of authorial voice that comes through in your writing, your own voice, and then the voices of the people around you. So I mean, I was thinking about kind of, you have the poems, for example, about the hooker on the street or the taxi cabs, which we don't really get the voices of those people, but you also have the voices or these kind of poems.
I've lost you, Timur. I've lost your audio.
Timur, yeah.
I'm not hearing him.
The question is about how you, is it not coming through at all?
Well, it's very spotty. I got most of it.
Yeah.
I got most of it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Timur? He's not shaking his head. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Timur, wake up.
Yes. Yes.
You can hear me? Okay. Okay. So the first. Oh, there's our little Phoebe Du Soleil. The first part of your question, who inspired me? From a very early age, I don't know, like my early 20s or something, I guess, when I was just kind of learning how to shave, I became acquainted with the Beats, and specifically Jack Kerouac, and to a little bit of a lesser degree, Allen Ginsberg and the gang, Burroughs, etc. What I loved about their work was that they challenged the whole suburban movement that had grown out of the 50s into the 60s, and they brought it back to the street. They brought it back to Times Square and to San Francisco, and they hung with the drug dealers and the pimps and the three-card money shills, etc. So it was that tug of getting into what I consider to be a more authentic expression of life in the world for me personally. It was their writing that kind of really appealed to me because it was so noisy and it was so joyful and it was so of the people. So I would say that was my primary influence. And Henry Miller, if you know him, the novelist, the expatriate who went to Paris and wrote Tropic of Cancer, etc. He's another kind of foul-mouthed, gutter snipe type of writer who influenced me an awful lot also. So it's that kind of literary voice that really appeals to me, and then I guess picked up on in my own writing. Okay, so that's your first question, right? Are you hearing me? Because I can't hear you at all. Okay, good. So are you liking what you're hearing? Just kidding. So the next question was differentiation of voices. You know, it's an odd situation. The subject or the impression or the inspiration of a poem, you never know how it's going to hit you, how it's going to strike you, where it's going to come from. So sometimes what will touch you most deeply is dialogue, is words, is verbal expressions, is sounds, whatever it happens to be. That's what will come through in a particular experience. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just a gesture, a look, a physical expression that will strike you most deeply, and you won't feel the need to put any kind of audio addition to what you see. So the voice works itself out in the situation. I don't approach any situation with any expectation of how I'm going to deal with it poetically. If I hear something and I like the way it sounds, I'll write that down, I'll imitate a voice or copy a voice or something. If I look at something and I like the way it looks, I'll do the best to describe it in my own voice. So your comment is very interesting and nothing I had actually thought about before. But yeah, so I would say just off the top of my head here that it really depends on how the specific situation or experience speaks to you is the way that you record it. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Timur. Timur, is it Timur?
Timur.
Timur. Thank you, Timur.
Timur,
Yeah.
do you want to ask your second question by any chance? Because that kind of blurred out.
No, Mickey picked up the second question, which was about how he negotiates this question of voice between his voice and then the voice of the streets around him.
I always, Timur, let me add something to that, which is I always find the so-called other voice more interesting than my own. So if there's the opportunity, I guess, to record something that sounds interesting, that's always my preference. But that isn't always the way it happens. So, but let me just ramble on a little longer in response to that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think in the end, ultimately, absolutely, there is no differentiation between voices. They are a choir that kind of contributes to the, I don't know, the, here we go, cosmic song, right? So you can nail a particular voice, my voice or that sound or whatever it happens to be, and say that this is that and that's that and this is the other thing. But in the end, they're all the same voice, just being expressed differently.
Anybody else's questions? So I have a question for you, Mickey.
Okay.
And I'm thinking visually, because your poetry is so evocative with regard to what you see and what you record. And I'm thinking as an art historian here, but I think Tula's on still and she's a filmmaker. So if you were a movie maker, let's say, what streets would you choose to navigate in Syracuse and why? If you had to make a film about your bus journey.
Well, that of course would depend on what kind of a film you wanted to make, I suppose. But let's say that you wanted to make a documentary film about the character of the city of Syracuse. So how would you do that? One of the things that is so rich about even a moderate-sized town like ours, excuse me, this sparkling water is sparkling in my, there we go. I'm getting sparkles where I don't want them. Okay, so one of the things that you would do is find the best way to appreciate the whole character of the city. And as I started to say, Syracuse, even for a city its size, has a wonderfully rich patchwork of ethnicities, of voices, and faces. So you would want to somehow do justice to all of that if what I just stated was your project. So you would visit the Near West Side, which is like a combat zone. If you've never been down there, it might rock your molars. It's another world. You would go to the North Side, where there are so many immigrants from African and Asian countries and have put roots down for their families and for their businesses. You would go to the university, of course, and you would go to the East Side that is littered with, littered's not a good word, crowded, perhaps is a better word, with housing projects. And you would go to the South Side where the housing projects are bisected by the highway. So you would want to give the fullest expression to the city that you were able to. And because it's so diverse and so colorful and so surprising, it would be difficult to capture the whole thing. I guess if that was your project, you could, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna detour from that. So that's one aspect of it. If I personally were going to if somebody gave me a video camera and said, "Hey, go make a film of the city of Syracuse," personally, what I would do is I would go to the Near West Side and the West Side, the Near West Side, so between Geddes Street and Wyoming, I think it is, because that is a microcosm, I think, of anything a city would have to offer in terms of the evolution and the entrenchment of a city. What do I mean? There's been old factory buildings that have been vacant for a long time, many of them repurposed as new facilities, retail businesses, etc. There are housing projects that have been there forever and ever. There are little enclave bars and restaurants, shot and beer joints. There are rough and tumble streets. There are children in the streets playing. Now, you don't see that in every neighborhood. You don't see people outside, especially children in the streets. You do over there. And there's basketball courts and a playground, and there's an old, very old school that is still kind of rumbling along year to year. So I personally would go to the Near West Side and turn my camera 360 degrees there for a microcosmic view of the city. Of course, now, admittedly, you're missing a lot, but that would be my proclivity.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who else? Are there any Syracuse natives among us? Now, see, that's interesting. One. Oh, yes, Joanne. Joanne is a Syracuse native. Anybody else? So doesn't that speak highly of the city? So this is just a select group, of course, but one among, I don't know how many people we have on board here, only one is a native. The rest of us have chosen to stay here. Romy's in New York right now, but the rest of us, I guess, have chosen. She's a Brooklyn girl. Most of us have chosen to stay here for whatever that reason happens to be. And I got looking at something at the bottom of my screen. So we all have our reasons for being here, and they can't be. I suspect most of them are not bad reasons. They're probably good reasons. So here's another thing that you would do. You could do an oral. It wouldn't be necessarily an oral history, but it would be an oral narrative of the city where you would talk to everybody, people from different walks of life and who are not natives, and ask them why they're here, how long they've been here, why they're here, what do they think of the city. My feeling is that most people would have very good things to say about Syracuse. But again, this is a very selective, somewhat elite group. If you took your microphone other places, you might not get the same response. People like Syracuse? Yes? Yeah? Yeah. Thumbs up. Right.
Any other? questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Other questions, observations?
Anybody?
Yes, can you hear me?
Karina.
Yes. Hi, Mickey. Thank you
Hi,
so
Karina.
Thank you for bringing all these voices. I've been a bus rider since I was little, so in many cities. I liked very much what you captured of Syracuse. My question is, I didn't get that with the semi-retirement, if you have been driving lately or if you only drive the bus when the students are here. And I was wondering what you are hearing now since the coronavirus has reached the community. What you notice, what changes?
Yes. Tell me your name again, dear.
It's Karina.
Karina, now you have an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Germany.
Germany. What part?
Both parts. Grew
Both
up
parts.
east and
East and, does that mean East and West or?
yes, studied
Yes.
in the West and then lived in New York City and then came to Syracuse.
Lovely. I love the accent.
I have a little side note. So remember the semester I did a video on you?
Yes, Romy.
I did a video on Karina too, like that same semester.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What department are you in, Karina? What department are you in?
I teach German in the languages, literatures, and linguistics, and Romy
Okay.
was once in the.
Yeah. Your hair is so long now. I
Well-
like barely recognize you.
Haircuts.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so let me
Right.
see if I can remember the question. Part-time, full-time, what's happening? So,
Yeah.
right. So I left full-time driving about 2 years ago. And I took some time off and I returned very part-time. So when I'm driving now, it's around 10 hours a week on the hill. Yeah, not a lot. I haven't driven since the week before spring break.
Okay.
And I think I think that week, the end of that week before spring break was when the campus shut down and they have not been back since. So I haven't driven since. What's happened with the bus company, I gather from the people that I talk to and et cetera, is that some of the drivers have tested positive. Now, this was a few weeks ago before the company was issuing masks. And I say that not really knowing for sure that they are issuing masks now. The only reason I say that is whenever I look at a driver now, they're wearing a mask. So I'm guessing Central's providing them. I don't know for sure. So several drivers have tested positive. I don't know of any driver that has become very sick. But again, I'm not in that social loop really at the moment. The bus company, last I knew, had moved all of their scheduling to Saturday service, which is a very curtailed bus service. So Monday through Saturday is all Saturday service, and then Sunday, which is even less, is still Sunday service. So they've cut way back on the service. Other than that, I don't know. Now I don't know specifically about Central. So those are the few things that I do know. But maybe you've heard this, that in Detroit, I guess got hit very badly a month or so ago. And there was a video posted by a Detroit bus driver, I guess on Facebook somewhere. And he was saying that he was complaining about a bus passenger who was coughing with no mouth, no protection, no mask or anything on. And he was saying, he was making this very passionate plea, saying, you people got to take this seriously. I mean, this is deadly and it's getting worse every day. And you can't be coughing like this on the bus. You can't be getting on the bus without protection, etc. He got very sick and a couple of days later he died.
I did not hear that.
Yep. So, bus drivers, of course, are on the front line and you got to do whatever you can as a passenger, out of, I don't know, courtesy, I guess, if nothing else, to make that safe for the driver. Oh, the other thing that I was told that Central had done was that all the buses were free and no one was entering or exiting through the front door. They were using the rear door only. So they're coming in and out the rear door. So the driver didn't have any immediate or close contact with any of the passengers. I don't know if that's still in effect, but that's what I heard a couple of weeks ago.
There was a story on NPR this morning about bus drivers in New York City where they were, one of the drivers was standing at a bus stop with police tape, the yellow police tape. And when the bus stopped, he would climb on and tape off the space directly behind the driver.
Yeah.
So that no one could sit directly behind the driver. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen photographs in the New York Times for the last few weeks. They've been showing photographs around the city. And one of the most startling photographs is the pictures of the New York City subway cars and the subway platforms, which are typically like ant colonies. There's nobody there. I mean, it's just amazing how that has affected public transportation in a place like New York. A number of the MTA subway people have, last I knew, the number was in the 40s, have died from COVID-19. Yeah. So
I came in a little late because I'm writing some grants. And when I started the audio, you were swearing up a blue streak, and I said, "Yep, that must be that's Mickey."
Yeah, that wasn't a poem. I was just upset about the response I was getting.
Oh, okay. Well, we were all muted at that point, so I couldn't say anything anyway. But
yes, well, I'll give you a private reading one of these days, David. You can fully appreciate that very obscene poem. Yeah.
Well, this. I joined before the next one that had me laughing was the waiting at the light with with all the swearing in that one, and then the light changed from green.
Oh yeah. The Road Rage Rhapsody. Well, here's a funny story about cell phones on the bus. So, one of my bus driving buddies told me this, and this attitude is somewhat pervasive. So he's driving the bus, and a passenger gets on the bus, and she's talking on her cell phone. And she walks past the fare box, doesn't say anything to the driver, doesn't put any money in the fare box, doesn't pay the fare at all. And she's walking back to her seat, walking down the aisle, talking on her cell phone. And the bus driver turns around and says to her, hey, lady, you've got to pay the fare. She turns around, looks at it, and she said, I'm on the phone. So that's what you deal with. That's what you deal with, right? Their phone call comes first. They don't care the situation. They're completely oblivious to everything around them. I'm on the phone.
Any other questions or observations? Vicky? Hi, Shobha. Anybody else?
So I'll make a shameless pitch here.
Go ahead.
Which I've become quite good at over the years, recently. We love to do readings and perform. Oh my God, Bailey, is that you? Hi, how are you? Great to see you, dear. So the shameless pitch is we love to do readings, and we work relatively cheap. So if you would like to, have a reading or a Zoom thing for your whatever it might be, let us know, and maybe we can work something out. We love it. We love to have this opportunity. So, our tagline is "We're available."
Hi.
Hi, Bailey.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Good.
Great to see you, dear.
Missed your bus rides for sure.
Yes. Well, maybe I'll be back in action soon. We don't know how this whole thing's going to play out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
You too.
Any observations?
Are there any now? I know Beth and Romita and Romy and David ride the bus. Anybody else ride like from? Oh, Bill, of course, Bill. I'm sorry, Bill.
Karina, Bill.
Karina, do you ride from Manly to main campus, Karina, or what? Your mic's not on, hon.
I ride from Fellows if the weather's bad. Normally I walk, but whenever the weather is not good, I take the bus.
I
It's
see.
right across the house.
I see. Okay.
So, Mickey, the other question that I had because I was very struck by your comment about, I can't remember which point was where you ended with the tires.
Yes. Yes, through the rabbit hole.
Yeah, through the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, how you sense this enormous thing that you're driving, right? When you're driving down the Syracuse streets. I mean, I'm in my little car when I'm driving around, and I'm wondering, I have driven an 18-foot U-Haul once in my life, and it was quite interesting. So as a bus driver, what do you sense when you're driving the bus, the wheel? I mean, you're navigating a lot of different things, right?
Right.
So a little bit about that, and the bonding between you and your bus, shall we say, if you can comment.
You become so involved, you become so entwined, neither one of those are the words I want, but I guess kind of the idea, with your vehicle, because you're spending so many hours, so many days, so many years sitting on your ass in this seat. It feels like an extension of yourself. You feel like you have almost, 360-degree vision, because you've got these mirrors everywhere in the bus, outside the bus, in the back of the bus. So your vision is kind of like the little girl in The Exorcist, right? Who can spin her head around. So there's that in you, because you have to be so attentive to the size of the vehicle and the situation and the traffic situation of every moment. It feels like it's become a part of you. And you got this snappy uniform and the whole thing. And so you're kind of you're part of the bus. There was I was watching a documentary on the basketball player Pistol Pete Maravich recently, and he was quite the player. And Larry Bird made this comment about Maravich, and he said that the ball was like an extension of his hand. He was so good with it and so talented and so skillful, and had done it for so many hours, for so many years, that there was no separation between himself and the ball. So not to get too metaphysical here, but you feel the same way about a bus. After a while, it's like nothing. It's part of you. You know how the game is played, and you kind of feel your way through it. And so it's a relationship that is as rewarding as it is weird, I suppose. Yeah, here's the other thing. If you're not a bus driver and you look at these buses going through the city streets that are crowded with traffic, and you can't make a right-hand turn because there's cars right there, and there's people crossing the street, and the horns are honking, and people are crossing the street with strollers, etc. And it looks like a madhouse. And you look at the bus and you think to yourself, how in the name of God did they do that? I mean, how is that possible to drive that vehicle under these circumstances day in and day out all the time? It's nothing. It really is nothing. You become so acclimated to it, doing it so long, you don't think twice about it. You just kind of turn the wheel and you're on your merry way. Now, what still kind of wows me is what they refer to as the accordion buses. You know what they are? So you see them in big cities. New York used to have them. I don't know if they do anymore. Rochester, New York used to have them. So it's a full-size bus, and then there's this like accordion something. I don't know what they use, if it's a rubber connection. And then there's another full-size bus, right? And it's all connected as one bus. And so these drivers are driving those around the city. And that looks like quite the feat. I've never tried that, but looks like a fun challenge. I'd like to.
Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Hi, this is Tula. I just wanted to thank you, Romita, for organizing this, and for Mickey for sharing your poems and your work and your life and your personality. I live in the Syracuse city, so I do get a sense of the city. But what was so striking for me, I think, was for the poems that you really showed Syracuse as a city and not the suburbs. And I lived in New York City for 12 years before coming to Syracuse. And, that sense of an American city really comes alive in your poems. And I think that's really wonderful.
Thank you, Tula. I mean, that's
it's a very urban look at the world. And I love that.
That's about the best comment or compliment that I could ask for, Tula. So I thank you very much for that. The city, in all of its, my grandmother used to say, my grandmother was from Syracuse. I'm not, but she was, and she loved New York City. And what she used to say was, I love her, get the quote right, I love the grime and stink of New York City. And that's kind of the way I feel. Cities are a wonderful place. They are so flourishing and so alive and so inspiring and so colorful that I can't imagine being anywhere else. I mean, in Syracuse is just a mid-sized city. You know, we're not a throbbing metropolis, but still, there is a sense of aliveness on the city streets that I have never experienced anyplace else. And so, thank you, Tula, for your observation. It means a lot to me.
Anyone else? Well, thank you then. I think we're creeping towards 1:30. We have time for one more question or observation, or nobody else? All right. Well, if you don't mind unmuting your microphones so that we can just have a round of applause for Mickey.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time out today to join us, for your questions and for connecting with Mickey. I think you've given us a very humane experience today, made us see the world around us in Syracuse a little bit differently from what we are accustomed to. And thank you for all your wonderful spirit on the bus. So many students and faculty love you to death, and staff. You've made our lives so much more pleasant on the bus. I know I've had very tense meetings of the day, and I get on the bus with you and I feel so much better. So you have done wonders for many of us in this community, Mickey. So thank you for being there and for being who you are.
Thank you, Romita. Thank you very much. That's lovely to hear. And thank you all for being here. What I always would conclude when I would read a poem on the bus, I would always conclude it, and sincerely, and I'm going to conclude here by saying, without you, baby, this bus don't fly. So thank you for being here. It doesn't happen without you, without people who are appreciative and interested, etc. Thank you all very much for being here today.
Thanks. We'll end with Bugs Bunny, and that's all, folks. Have a good evening. Be well, and thank you all for joining today. And stay safe, mainly. So
yes,
all right.
Stay happy and healthy, y'all.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone. Mickey, I'll stay on the line with you a bit.
Yes, we'll catch you on the flip-flop.
No, you stay before Mickey.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mickey.
Bye.
Take care, Mickey.
National Poetry Month.
Yes, happy National Poetry Month.
I'm signing out. See ya.
No, Mickey, stay. He just signed out. Thanks, Karina. Thanks, Stage. Bye-bye. Be well. Thank you for joining. It's nice to see you. Thanks for your question. Yeah, bye.